A recent Supreme Court case that has led to deportation has set a precedent that could lead to the First Lady of the United States being deported. I kid you not. Now, this is in the case of a Serbian woman who was recently deported for failing to disclose her husband's history in the military. Now, what this did is that it set a technical precedent for deporting Mrs. Trump, and this is according to Slate. And look, the woman's name in this case is Diva Maslaniak, I believe. Now, she was facing summary deportation when it emerged that she lied about her husband's service in the Bosnian Serb military unit while she was securing citizenship in 2007. Okay. Now, her story is she basically arrived in the United States as a refugee in 1999. Now, she is fleeing persecution as a Serb living in Bosnia. Now, she claimed that her husband had never served in the military, but this was proven to be false. And as a result of falsifying documents, she was then deported. Now, look, you might be asking, okay, what does this have to do with Melania Trump? Melania wasn't a refugee, nor did Donald Trump serve in the military of any foreign nation. Hell, he wouldn't even serve in our own military. Oh, but Jeff, there's a reason for that. He had bone spurs. Don't you understand? He had bone spurs. Yeah, it's kind of funny. He doesn't remember where he had those bone spurs, in what foot. But anyway. Now, the legal precedent here was set by new rules brought in by the Trump administration last month. Now, according to these rules, immigration officials are required to prioritize the removal of any foreign national who has, quote, engaged in fraud or willful misrepresentation in connection with any official matter or application before a government agency. Now, that last part is very, very important. So basically, if you say something or you leave something out, you lie on your application to get into the United States, and if they find out, well, they can go and deport you immediately. Now, defending this stance during a Supreme Court case, which challenged the ruling against Ms. Maslaniak, as unconstitutional, Justice Department lawyer Robert Parker suggested a minor 20-year-old offense, such as driving at 60 in a 55, 20 years previously, could be enough to reverse an entire citizenship decision. Basically, if you do anything wrong, according to this ruling, you can get kicked out. You would be a criminal. Now, Mr. Parker, of course, points out something, again, incredibly important. You do anything wrong, or that includes not being honest on your application, then you're going to get deported. Now, the precedent set basically says that an immaterial error on a form is now enough to see an entire citizenship application refused and would justify a deportation. Now, that brings us to Melania Trump. It is known now that Ms. Trump reportedly failed to disclose earnings from nearly 2 months of illegal work in the United States on what is known as a visitor's visa. And she also subsequently failed to mention the offense on her immigration documents. Oops. Now, let me give you the story. In 1986, Ms. Trump, then Ms. Nas, was paid for modeling work undertaken in the United States while traveling on a tourist visa, according to documents obtained by the Associated Press. Doing this work and getting paid for it violated her terms of entry. Again, this is a tourist visa, not a work visa. She got the wrong visa. And, oh, look at that. You get the wrong visa, you don't get a work visa, means you're not legally allowed to work in the United States, but you work anyway. That is wrong. That's the law. Now, this is interesting because it's not like she was working as a little side job to make sure that she can survive while she's on her visitor's visa. She wasn't working as a waitress for tips. No. The First Lady allegedly earned more than $20,000 in the 7 weeks before she acquired her legal permission to work. So she was making money before she was allowed to. And furthermore, She wanted to apply for a green card in 2001 and became a naturalized citizen in 2006 without disclosing that she had actually received that money, that she had done that work. So she willfully failed to disclose. It's not like you forget $20,000. She failed and went to disclose that she had broken immigration law and worked when she wasn't supposed to. She worked here illegally. Now, under the precedent set by this court case involving the other Serbian woman, who also lied and failed to disclose information while applying for citizenship, she would be subject to deportation. She would be a criminal alien at this point, living illegally in the United States. This isn't me saying that. This is the Trump administration under their new rules saying that. But do you think that she's going to get deported? No, absolutely not. You know why? She's got wealth, she's got privilege. That's all you need in this country to break the law. That's all you need. She is protected from any sort of recourse. So, and look, I wouldn't make a law like this, but Republicans would, and they have. Now, if you're going to make a law, wouldn't it be nice if it was consistent? Or else you're going to end up having a case of, hey, laws are for you plebs, for you poor people without any power or influence, not for me, which is clearly in this case. Melania worked illegally. She broke the law. She is a criminal alien. Why don't we see her name get put on this list? Remember the list of criminal aliens, of people who have done crimes. Well, what she did was a crime. She worked illegally in the United States. She made money. She stole an American's job. American could have modeled that. She wasn't a citizen. She wasn't allowed to work in the United States, and she lied. She should be on that list of criminal aliens. Because again, she lied to the government on her own immigration papers. Now look, this may seem minor to some people, but if you are a law and order president like Donald Trump claimed to be, well, then you have to follow the law. That means that you and your wife should not be exempt from this law. That is, of course, unless you are an enormous hypocrite. I'll leave it up to you to figure out whether that's true or not. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.